Hey, it's Refugee Week, and I am stoked to be chatting to our guest tonight. She's an official ambassador of Refugee Week and the chair of the Australian National Committee on Refugee Women. Would you please welcome Anyier Yuol, everyone?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Happy Refugee Week.
To everyone and me, myself too.
Woo! You go to sick parties, Refugee Week sick parties?
Yes, already did. Yeah, been there, done that.
You've been out there, go nuts. Thank you for being on the show. It's lovely to have you here.
Worries.
24 years ago, you were born in a refugee camp in Kenya. How did you come to be an Australian?
Well, my journey took me through a very memorable road. So I am my parents are from South Sudan. And then moved to a refugee camp after the war. So born there, raised there for the first 10 years. And we were the first, or the lucky one, to be granted a humanitarian visa to come to Australia in 2003. So that's how I found myself here in the beautiful Sydney.
Beautiful Sydney in Australia, yes.
Yes.
And your parents were tragically lost their lives during that conflict,
Yes.
and I'm sorry for that loss. Kakuma Refugee Camp sounds like an extraordinary place. It was started in 1992. It was designed to hold 23,000 people. As of January this year, it has a population of 185,000 people.
Yeah.
What is it like actually growing up there in that camp?
As you just said, Tom, the population has increased over the years. Now, when I was born in '93, so by that time it's only been 1 year since it had established. Growing there for the first 10 years, I guess to me, Kakuma Refugee Camp was a home. I didn't really have much expectation of what was out of the camp, just let alone probably a few visits to Nairobi, and that's about it. But Kakuma has always been a place where I have family there, I have friends there. I grew up, spoke my first words. But now I think, having grown up in Australia and just looking back how the population has increased, it's really sad to still see that there are people who probably have lived in the camp for maybe over 25 years now. And it does break my heart to see that the camp, every year the population is increasing and there's nothing can be done about it. So it's really sad. Unfortunately, I have been one of the luckiest who have been guaranteed a visa to be here. And so I'm lucky, but unfortunately for the one who are in the camp, they are just not lucky as I am.
Do you think that we, as a country, Australians, do a good job of welcoming refugees?
Oh, I think so, definitely. In terms of communities, organisations that have been established to welcome refugees, we do a great job. However, I think there are more things that Australians can do, including the government. So looking at the budgets and the amount that we spend to integrate them into society, looking at the way, how can we actually increase opportunities to better integrate them into society. Australia does really well in terms of the program that we provided for new arrival refugees. But from there, when they first arrive, everyone go through different process of integrating into a society. Some can really integrate it quite well and very easy. Some who might have been traumatized and have gone through more in life will take further time to integrate.
What was it like for you? You're 10 years old, you've spent your entire life in a refugee camp,
Yes.
and then you arrive in Sydney. What was that experience like?
I mean, it was amazing. Oh, not really amazing, that's a lie.
Don't lie to me!
When I first arrived, of course, I was very young. And I think arriving
Like
in
the
Sydney,
culture shock,
I remember
must have been crazy.
just looking at the buildings, and I was like, where am I? Like, am I lost? Like, honestly, I came from a camp where everything is, built with tents, trees, or everything, atmosphere was different. So I was nervous, I was culturally shocked. And where they took us for our first place? City centre. Like, it was like, I'm sorry, where are the multicultural people here? So I was really shocked, but until they moved us to the Western Sydney.
Right, okay.
So I found my home there.
Okay, great. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
So for some people, you're a refugee who came to Australia the right way. This is a way that some people phrase it. You were in a camp, and some people point to those who seek asylum coming to Australia by boat and say that they're not doing it the right way. The Liberal Party, which is the current party of government in this country, seems to have a similar position. They posted this video on Saturday, and I'm interested to hear what you think of it. Let's take a look.
Yes.
When Labor was last in government, over 50,000 illegal arrivals reached our shores, costing taxpayers billions of dollars. And it could happen again. There are many Labor MPs who support policies that will weaken border protection.
Let them stay.
The people smugglers are watching and waiting.
Once Australia opened the gate, it's a people smuggler, they will send these people.
Because if Labor gets in, so will more illegal arrivals. Labor, the bill Australia can't afford.
What do you think when you see something like that?
It's really sad. I would like to say there is no queue. There's no wait. Or I would have never been here if there was a thing that we have to wait for your turn. These are people live. We shouldn't be playing with. They're not numbers. There is no right way to get into Australia. Once you cross that border and seeking protection, you should be given that protection. And for me, I received that protection, even though I came by what they call the right way under the humanitarian visa. It doesn't mean those people don't have the right that they deserve. Like, what happened to the women and girls or the children who are on that boat? It's against the law, and, to just keep them there. So it's really poor and just really upsetting just to see that.
You're going to Geneva this weekend, and you're going to be speaking to the UN, specifically addressing the challenges faced by refugee women in Australia and around the world.
Yes.
What are those specific challenges? What are you going to talk about?
So in my role, and as the chair of ANCOR, and in partnership with the Australian Refugee Council of Australia, one of the things that we are going to advocate is particularly the issues that women and girls face in Australia. So in terms of our roles with the ANCOR, we talk about issues like employment opportunities here, the lack of resources for English classes, and then more on a general at the international level, the lack of processing in terms of how long it takes to for families to be reunited with their families. So those are the things that we are going to advocate on as well. Yeah.
You're going to go back to Kakuma refugee camp too. Are you looking forward to it?
I am. So the last time I went back to Africa in particular was 2011, but I did not go to the camp that I was born in. So this time I'm really excited, but also nervous just to see the changes, to see, what had happened and what's going on in the camp. But also I'm excited to see family, because I still do have a lot of family still in the camp until now.
Your auntie who looked after you and you grew up with there is still in the camp now?
Still in the camp until today.
14 years later, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, she's one of the unlucky ones who's still there. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. If you want to find out more about Refugee Week 2018, you can head to the website on your screen now. For now, would you please thank Anyier Yuol?